You're here, I'm here, we're here, and I have a good friend, Christina Payton, here to share her story and what she's doing that got her over six-figure behind the chair income, and what's moving her very fast to a seven-figure net worth, which is really fancy speak for becoming a millionaire. Her and I were doing a little bit of arithmetic. I think she's going to be there before on the back end of 30 something. She's on the front end of 30 something now. So Kelly Perez Polston, who's going to be my guest tonight, you're here. You're actually here warming up, aren't you, Kelly? Catherine, you're in my house too, so it's always good to see you. I've waited my 2 minutes, so the boat's at the dock. Let's go to work. Welcome to In Search of Behind the Chair Millionaire, episode 15. So this is our 15th interview on adding to the awesome sauce behind the chair and six-figure income. We're now raising the bar. In addition to six-figure income, how many of you are out there really with great intentionality and mindfulness, quickly working your way silently, discreetly, towards becoming financially independent? That's what this conversation is all about. Of course, Christine Payton is not only a six-figure hair jet. I just love how she's branded her business, her work on Instagram. You'll see some of that. But she's also, that's what she is today, and behind the chair millionaire tomorrow, as in she is 32. I think she's going to probably cross that Rubicon in the back end of 30-something. She is the founder, owner of the House of Blondes in Naples, Florida, and I've just had my eye on her for the last couple of years or so. Her growth has been nothing short of remarkable. Let me tell you why I asked her to come and hang out with us for a couple of minutes this afternoon. This is her behind the chair livelihood, right? Let's just say her personal income, her gross income after business expenses, but before taxes. You can see, I mean, she's cooking in her sales. This was in the Salon, 105 in 2016, jumped to just under 200 in 2018. That's 2017. In 18, just under 500,000, just under 600,000 in 2019, and in the year of COVID, boy, held her own very, very well. I'll ask her what she's trending to do this year, but 35 hours a week, and so this is what she's been able to save in her business account, and what she's been able to invest in her personal account. So, you add up those numbers on this column here, saved, that's just around 200,000. You add this is well over 200. So you can see, and she's debt free. So you can see she's up to something, and that's why we wanted her with us this afternoon to tell us, what are you up to? Like, how are you pulling that off? So I'm going to go get her now. She's in my green room. And then we're going to get her talking, and there she is here. We're going to unmute her, and you're going to make her feel welcome, you guys. Christina!
Hey, Michael.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being our guest this afternoon. I know you got a lot of stuff going on in your life, and that you would give us a few minutes is really, really special. And I've been really looking forward to having this conversation with you. A month or so ago, we had a similar conversation on another venue, and then you were on my show. How long's it been since you came on the first time, and we were talking about what you were doing in your business? Has it been a year?
What month is it?
I know it. It's like Groundhog Day.
I don't even know what year it is anymore.
Well,
it was in October, so it wasn't too long ago.
Oh, okay. Well, we're probably 8 months away from that, 8 or 9 months away, and you just continue to evolve. So, you heard me, telling my community about you when you were in the green room. I always like to start with the story as it relates to this conversation, and you and I were chatting a little bit about it. Catch us up to what your life was like before House of Blondes and being on the we'll call it the Behind the Chair Millionaire plan, because this is a big thing that's happened to you. But what was it like before you kind of woke up and got it?
Okay, so life before where I'm at now, I was a struggling stylist. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I felt really defeated pretty quick into my career because I loved what I did, but I couldn't support myself. And I remember making $300 every 2 weeks and just like, I'm going to have to go back to school. And I always knew that I wanted to be in this industry. So I'm so glad that I stuck with it because I followed my passion, and I'm so grateful to be where I'm at now, but it wasn't easy. And
well, you were telling me that, in the, back then at $300 every week, every other week, you were really still at home with family of origin, that things were really, really tight. So you've come far.
yes, and I don't take it for granted.
Oh.
I mean, I definitely reflect on that all the time. And especially with my salon, my whole purpose has been to change that game for younger stylists or people that don't have as much experience to be able to still live comfortably and, not have to struggle as much.
Well,
it can be very hard.
I've been watching you, and if I had to give a subtitle to you today, it would be that now that you're on the path that you're on, you're not only I'm getting goosebumps now. You're not only growing hairdressers for a living, you're helping them to become and grow into millionaires.
Yes.
I mean, that's the value added of working with you and for you. But here's something I'm curious about. Like, you were on this path where struggle, and then something happens. You kind of pivot and you woke up. When did that wake up happen for you?
Well, the first wake up was when I took a huge leap of faith and decided to leave everything that I've built and move to Florida. That happened in 2015. I started my business 3 months after I had moved here. I had $1,000 in my bank account. I had one chair in my salon. I had no clients. And I was just so blessed. Like, within my first year, I serviced over 2,000 appointments on my own. And I was very tired, and I knew I needed help. So I wanted to find a team. And it was in 2017 when I created House of Blondes. I had 2 team members. And that was really my pivot point, because I had to have like a system and I had to have structure. It's like not just about Christina anymore. I'm an employer, so my responsibilities changed. So I would say when I started House of Blondes is really when I started to transition.
Well, what's interesting about this, Christina, is that when you moved from Chicago to Florida, I mean, you talk about that like start over. That's like going back to zero, and you had a pretty solid business when you left. I believe that you created your own salon business in a suite, but then began to incubate a salon team inside of that suite. And now today, last time I talked to you, I know you had more than 1 or 2. How many? It's almost like you've built a salon inside of that brick and mortar kind of suite condominium.
Yeah, we started with 1 suite and 1 chair. Now we have 5 suites and 10 chairs.
And how big's your team?
I was actually counting earlier. It's weird because, it's like, whoa, I don't have that many employees. We have 9 right now.
Wow.
I think last time we spoke, I had 7.
Yes.
And we make it work. I don't know how we make it work in our space, but we do, and we're functional.
Well,
So,
and I know that you came to Summit somewhere in the ride, and now you're working. At least last time I chatted with you, you were working with Amy, you're a coach, and you had a very big 2019. You were like under 600,000 in total sales, and then you did just under that in 2020 with COVID. What are you trending to do this year? Do you have a sense yet as to what this year is feeling like for you and the team as a whole?
well, first off, 2019 is where I went to Summit as a business owner.
Got it.
So you could see the jump, from 2018.
Oh yeah, you went from 450 to just under 600,000 in the year that you went to Summit. As somebody that was incubating a business inside of a suite model.
Yes.
What's it look like now? We're now into May, so we're almost to the midway point. What's 2021 feeling like for you?
2021 has been good. I mean, it's been up and down, I'm sure, as every business owner out there. But, our goal is to reach at least 800,000, but really a million. Come on.
Right. And so to really that for the goal, the promised land for you is with regard to sales is to get as close to the 800,000 landmark in 2021 as you can.
Yeah, the 800 is projected, but we're going to aim higher.
Oh, wow. Now, the other question I wanted to ask you is in a relatively short period of time, you went from, struggle, I'm going to call it the struggle bus, to now you're in the game. What's your life like now? And how is your life different now? Whether you're talking about your personal life, your lifestyle, your standard of living, or your business to where it was a short time ago?
So life is just as difficult now as it was then, just in a different way. I'm a business owner. I have more responsibilities. I have a bigger staff. So all of those things factor into, all of that. But now I wouldn't say it's financial freedom, because to me, that means more than what I have, but I'm comfortable. I'm able to provide for others. I'm happy where I'm at and to continue to keep growing. But, one day, I have big goals.
Yes, I know you do. You and I've had many discussions about you have some real big dreams. So the other question I wanted to ask you was, when you began to not only continue to grow your income and your people and your business, but you decided that I want to begin taking money, I call it, as you know, paying ourselves first. That in addition to making it, I want to save some of what I'm making so that over time I have something extraordinary to show for my commitment. And in a relatively short period of time, just in your business alone, you've put away a couple of 100,000, and you probably have 150 or so put away in your personal. When did you start doing that, and how long was it before, when you looked at how it was growing, where you kind of got freaked out? You went, oh my God, I can't believe how fast this is growing.
I started really saving in 2017. As I was growing my team, I needed more, income to be stable and to provide for the people that was working for me. So that's when it really started. And I don't know. I just save. The biggest thing that I did wrong was not pay myself. Right. So I didn't pay myself for the first 2 years I was in business. I put everything back into the business, and I was like, why did I do that? Like,
well, yeah,
I didn't have any income.
Right, but we're so busy just trying to just get startup going. But that was your first 2 years, but the last 3 years, heck, when I look at what you've been able to, if I just set the business aside, and just look at how you've been paying yourself first, independent of the business, I got you a little bit over 200,000 put away in, we'll just call it longer term savings and investment. I'm curious. I just thought about asking you this now. On a typical month, now that your business is flowing, what would be a typical month that you're able to add to that 200,000 that's in your personal? Are we talking about a couple of thousand a month, or 1,000, 3,000? Like where would that average be in a typical month?
So I basically take whatever my paycheck is, and I try to put like half of that into my savings.
Got it.
So my paycheck is just paying for my bills, essentially. And I've been doing that for the past few years. So the savings, to me, when I look at my savings, it's income that I have, but I don't look at it as cash on hand.
Right.
And the more that I save, the more that you want to put in there.
Oh my God. I mean, you see me kind of playing with my mobile, because I wanted to see that if you were on average of just a couple of $1,000s a month into that longer term to put on top of the 200, that where is it? I'm just doing the calculus now, and yeah, in 11 years, just on the rhythm you're going. I know you're an achiever, so that's going to continue to grow. But just the rhythm that you're on now, you're 32. You will be there on the back end of 30-something, very front end of 40-something latest. And that's on the rhythm that you're, and when I say there, a 7-figure net worth, as in $1 million. And it won't be tied up in real estate, this or that. I mean, that's liquidity that you have access to, and you're just getting warmed up. I mean, there's probably another 20, 30 years of career left in you. So you're just moving at a very, very fast clip.
Thank you.
Well, I want to ask you a few more questions. Like, you grew up in very modest means, and now you're on a track that's very different. It's like you pivoted, and now you're building momentum. The people in your life that you grew up with, whether it's family and peers, has it become apparent to them yet that you're kind of on a different path than you were before, or maybe on a different path than they still are?
Yes, absolutely. My family my family didn't think our profession, you could really make money in what we did. So it's been very humbling to be where I'm at now. And they recognize that too.
So I was curious, because it's very personal. Sometimes it freaks out our family. Sometimes it blows our family's mind. Sometimes our family can, there's a pride, a joy. And then other times they, depending, it can even creep some of our relatives out. And I was just curious that what kind of energy you get from your family as it becomes apparent to them that it's really working well for you.
They're so proud of me.
Yeah.
They really are. I try to give back as much as I can to the people that helped me when I was struggling. And they definitely, I've had them say a few things like, "You're not really doing hair, are you?"
Yeah.
But they're so proud of me, and they're very happy that I'm also in a position that I get to help other people too.
Yeah. And this conversation that we're having, Christina, it's beyond most people's imagination. It's like you're a hairdresser and you're watching or listening to this now. It's like, no, that can't be possible. First of all, that you could become a millionaire behind the chair, never mind, and doing that in a 10, 15-year period. But one of the keys is not only what you're saving, but you need to grow your income to 6 figures, 100, 150,000, and then live on a lot less so that you have that to put away. And I think that's what people don't get and understand. How important do you think that piece is where you got to not only manage your money right, but you have to be a Jedi at making money?
Yes, and you have to spend less than you make.
Yeah.
You have to, like, that's why how I train my mind, like with my savings, like it's there, but it's not. So I always try to save 3 to 6 months of, bills before I make any type of investments.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got so many questions coming up as I'm looking at you and listening to you. One of them is salon owners today, as you know, are struggling. They're losing people that are working with them and for them, and they're leaving them because they don't have the salon doesn't have a vision or a plan that's relevant to the people that are leaving them. And you're growing your people and coaching and mentoring your people to not only get to six-figure incomes relatively fast, but you're more than growing hairdressers for a living. You're helping them become millionaires, not only for life, but at a very young age. How important is that to why somebody would choose to work with you and for you rather than leave you and go out on their own? Like, have you kind of put that together for yourself yet?
Yes, and I think this is a really great topic because especially now, everybody is going towards the salon suite life. I feel that you have to offer a lot, and you have to really show your appreciation for those specific stylists to keep them happy. That's why I love Summit, because there's never ending growth. You never cap out. Right. And, there's been some tools that I've used just even to recruit certain stylists that I know that I want on my team.
Yes.
Because the industry is kind of moving the other way to salon suites, but that's because I feel the salons aren't offering the financial freedom that people think they're going to have on their own. And I've actually done the numbers on this. Would they make more renting their own place, or would they make more working for me? And we pulled all of these numbers and we did it. And they actually make more money working for me at my price and level structure at no risk. And they're all happy. So,
yeah. Well, you and I haven't caught you up to me lately. We've been both very busy, but on that very point, I have been surveying the number of salons that that are, employer-employee salons where how many of your people are at, near, or over $100,000 in a W-2? And out of the salons that I've asked, about 10%. So about 1 out of 10 have people that are over 100. And when they get there, what percentage of your total staff is earning that? And that number looks like about 20%. So if they've got 10 people working on their payroll, there's 2 or 3 of them that are there. But I think that once you get your people to 6 figures, and like you said, you have a long-term plan that you're just not going to make a lot of money here. We're going to teach you how to take a lot of what you're making, and you have something to show for it when you're still young. I think that's the value proposition for getting people to work for you, and frankly, to getting people to continue to stay rather than blind leading the blind and wherever it is that people are going. And you're kind of saying that, and Christina speak to me right now, I think.
Oh, yeah. They want to know where they're going. They want to know what their earning potential is. Here's what you have to do, and this is what you're going to make. And I do agree with you. Like, once you've hit that 6-figure income, it's like, well, why would I go to the other side? I'm comfortable. I'm happy. It's just more stressful to take on that type of responsibility. But, as I'm growing and expanding my brand as well, opening the big salon has been a concern for me when everybody's wanting to kind of just go do whatever they want. So these tools and numbers are very, very valuable to those stylists that are coming in. And that's what I show them.
Yeah.
I show them the numbers and I give them the clients. So I'm like, you're not going to get anything better than this.
Well,
And
it's interesting, Christina. You and I haven't caught you up to me lately because I've been going into the suite community. As you know, I kind of work in both worlds, and I'm finding that people that work in suites, when I ask them, what is your gross income? Like the income you take home before taxes, but after your business expenses, the answer I get most of the time is they're telling me their total take-in. Well, last year I took in, 140,000, 150, whatever that number is, and I'm saying, yes, but how much of it was gross income? Like you pay your rent and you pay your supplies and all that, and the people that are in business for themselves just aren't used to kind of seeing their business that way, and as we figure it out, and I compare what they're earning, after their expenses to what they're earning, like people working for you, I'm seeing the same thing, that you can earn more money in a personal income working in a place like, House of Blondes, and you're getting in your coaching you're teaching your people. I love you too much to just teach you how to make a ton of money. I want to show you how to save and invest it so that in your 20s and 30s, you're freaking rich, like you're a millionaire, like you're financially free. That's the value proposition.
Yeah, I agree. It's your strongest tool.
Well, listen,
I would work for you.
Oh no, I would work for you. You had me at hello, and I'm watching your people that are in your team, and you're growing them very, very quickly. These people
I just had one who, she started with me last June, and she's already jumped 4 levels.
Oh my God!
And those are hard numbers to hit. And even a gentleman I just brought on a few months ago, he's like, oh my gosh, my paychecks have never been this high. And he's done hair for like 25 years. And look, you earned it.
Well, I mean, you said more than, you're saying, okay, I had somebody start with me last June, and we're in May. So they've only been with you, they haven't even been with you a year, and they're already at the 4th level.
They jumped every single 90 days.
Oh yeah, but I know you well enough that you're now like one of the summit graduates. I call you you're Frankenstein, the monster that's smarter than the damn scientist that helped to create you, and you're teaching people how to like fly through the level system, so that there's like 4 level jumps inside of 12 months. I mean, you do the math on that. That's like every 3 months you're jumping, and that doesn't scare you. It doesn't scare them. But there's a lot of traditional summit salons that would freak them out. They're like going, oh my God, you're going to blow yourself up. And like, they don't get that you're on a different wavelength.
Yeah, I want them to have abundance and endless possibilities. So I get that side of being scared and, oh, you're going to burn yourself out and it's not going to sustain itself. But I mean, ultimately, it's up to the stylist to hit those goals. And when they do, they should be rewarded.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a favor. I haven't even told, I mean, this is just coming up. Both of us are kind of like talking in tongues to each other. But the favor I'm going to ask you is, I'm now out. It's almost become like a new gospel or calling from me to teach salon owners that are commissioned salons how they need to change to be competitive. We're in a very, very, very competitive time of salon disruption. I mean, between COVID and the what do you call it, the exodusing to suites, that you need to really blow the sides off of your brain box and really rethink, get more of your people to 6-figure, teach them how to become millionaire. And they think I'm crazy. They're going, you're just making this stuff up so you got stuff to talk about at the seminars. And I'm saying, no, I'm not making, I'm like out, there's people doing it and they don't believe me. So the favor I'm going to ask you is that you come into one of my private Zooms with me so you can show up and and say, here's Christina. She's the New Testament. Christina, tell him that I'm not a pathological liar.
I would be honored. And I'm really glad that you guys brought this up, because I'm not the only business owner who has had these questions. And I've even asked them to you, Michael, how do we change the game as the industry is changing? So I think that those conversations are important, and I'd be happy to talk about it, because I've had to learn a lot too, and I'm still learning a lot. I'm
a preacher. You're the Jedi. So you're like saying, look, I'm doing it as we speak. So when you show up, it's like the New Testament. It gives legitimacy to, wow, if she can do this in the environment that she's in, I can do it too. I just need to like get all the ideas out of my head about why I can't or why it's impractical. I have to stop like complaining and like wake up, step up and level up my game. And I think somebody like you, when you show up, you just give inspiration.
Thank you.
Well, listen, I know you're biz. I'm going to let you get back to your life. This was just a great half hour with you. And I'm going to hold you to your word. I'll be reaching out to you on the next couple of days. I've got some Zoominars coming up. I would absolutely love to have you come and be a part of they're all private Zooms for new salons coming in. And frankly, Christina, they're getting their butts kicked because they're losing their people to suites because they're not doing what you're doing. So this would be amazing.
Oh, I would love to talk about it.
All right. Well, listen, I love you to the moon. Thanks for coming in. You're the bomb. I tell you that every damn time I see you, and you just keep building momentum. You found a nice little niche in Florida with House of Blondes and extension. You're wearing what you look this afternoon. You look just great. So thanks a lot, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Michael. It's always such a huge pleasure with you, especially. Huge honor, and thank you for letting me share.
All right, we're going to give it up for you one more time. It's Christina Payton, you guys. All right, stay well, my friend. You guys, that was historical. That was historical. This is going to live on my page. We're going to edit this because she is, if there was an award for a poster child that's a living, breathing example of what commission salons need to do to change, from their leadership to their coaching to their pricing to what they're teaching their people to how they're saving for themselves, she would get the Academy Award, hands down, in my opinion. She's a master at giving herself a raise, meaning growing income. She knows the absolute importance of getting herself and her people to six-figure W-2 personal incomes. If you can't do that, it's going to take you, you're not going to be able to, you'll be able to become a millionaire, but you won't get there in a 15 or 20 year period. It'll take you 30 years, 40 years, and somebody could say, well, better late than never. Yes, but if you're an employer and you've hired somebody that's 20, 21, they're not going to wait until they're 50 or 60 to get rich. If you can't help them to become millionaires in their 30s, you're going to be getting thank you notes from your competition. Like keep up the good work. So you have got to change the game. Now, in addition to that, you have to be paying yourself first. This is called saving money and teaching your people. I love you too much to just motivate you to grow your income to six figures. We're going to set you up on a long-term savings plan. We're going to put a 401k in. I'm going to incentivize you to save money and add, I'll even match what you're putting into a point. I mean, I've got salons now on 401ks where they're matching up to 3%. So if you put in 3, I'll put in 3. You can put up to 15%. I've even had salons now that it has upped it to 5%. So you put in 5, I put in 5, and then the next 5 they can put in, so that in essence they're getting if you understand the math, a 33% return on their savings before the damn money starts growing. You guys, you have to get into this damn conversation. This is where we're going with the new breed of commission salons henceforth. And then paying down your debt. You could see that she had no personal debt. See, it's a combination of paying herself first and paying her debt down, because when you're debt-free, you're half rich. You got to be as much of a Jedi of being debt-free as you are in growing your income and saving money. And last but not least, you have to spend less than you make so that you have enough left over to pay yourself first and pay down your debt. Show me a stylist with this mindset, and I'll show you a future millionaire. Hang out with us. I'm now going to go on tour with L'Oreal Salon Emotion. I'm going on tour with Redken for salon owners and leaders to make this their new infrastructure. This is going to not replace, but profoundly augment what you've had in place. This is what's going to explode your recruitment. This is what's going to explode your retention. This is what's going to make you shark-proof against the proliferation and the exodusing to suites. This is more than a survival kit. This is how you thrive. All right, this is Michael Cole. Been a great conversation. Thank you, L'Oreal Salon Emotions. Support their brands. This is brought to you compliments of L'Oreal Salon Emotions. So thank you kindly, and we will see you tonight. I've got on tonight's program, we're doing a double hitter. Why are you doing a double hitter? Because this is so important that Kelly Perez from Posh Salon is going to be on tonight, and she is going to, we're going to pick up on the conversation tonight where we left off this afternoon. She's working at Pure Posh in San Antonio, Texas, and when you see what she's building, she's another Christina. I'm going to bring them on one after the other so that you can see I'm not making this up. This is the next right answer. This is Michael Cole. Good to see you. See you tonight.